Honda and Toyota used to battle relentlessly against each other on Camry versus Accord, and while that still happens today, RAV4 and CR-V have become the predominant comparison for the average consumer. These are for all intensive purposes the new go-to family vehicles. But like hundreds of thousands of people this year, it may be very difficult to decide between these two top products in the class. So for this comparison, we will be looking at a loaded RAV4 and CR-V side by side to see which one is the superior product. Let's get to it. So to get things going here, let's establish the pricing and option levels of these two. Starting with the 2019 CR-V, we have the most expensive trim called Touring. As many of you know, Honda doesn't have any factory option packages, but we do have the optional all-wheel drive system. Add in a few odd and end dealer accessories and the $995 destination charge to get a total of $35,642. For the all-new 2019 RAV4, things aren't quite as simple. Like the CR-V, we have the fully loaded trim, in this case called Limited, as well as the optional all-wheel drive system. That puts it at $34,900. However, Toyota has several options you can add, including our optional paint, Entune navigation, and all-weather floor mats. After the $1,045 destination charge, that places our equivalent RAV4 at a little over $37,000. All told, that places the price difference between these two at a reasonable $1,547. To compensate for this, we will give 1 point per $1,000 of difference, and therefore start the CR-V off with 1 point. Now a lot of the times, close competitors are very similar, but as far as the powertrains are concerned, RAV4 and CR-V couldn't be more different. Under the hood of the Toyota, you'll find a more traditional setup, a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, making 203 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. Honda goes a different route and gives you a smaller turbocharged 1.5-liter 4-cylinder that makes less power at 190 horsepower and 179 pound-feet of torque. For the transmissions, the same thing plays out. Toyota went with a traditional 8-speed automatic, while Honda chose a CVT. This is one of the biggest distinctions when driving these two. Even though Honda did an excellent job tuning the CVT, the average consumer is going to prefer the instant response and more traditional feel of the 8-speed auto in the Toyota. As far as other driving characteristics, both have a fantastic ride quality as well as surprisingly nimble handling. Both also accelerate nicely, though by the seat of my pants, the RAV feels a little quicker and more responsive. But on the flip side, the CR-V has the quieter engine. The RAV4's real X factor though is its new torque vectoring all-wheel drive system that comes standard on Limited. This system allows for more options in power distribution, including to the individual wheels. You usually won't find a system like this in mainstream vehicles. Lastly, for fuel economy, the CR-V does outdo the new RAV4, but not by more than our 5% margin to get a point. It gets a class-leading 29 combined with all-wheel drive, versus the RAV4's still great 28 combined. So with all that covered, let's move to the new exterior styling and features. Now we try to keep things as objective as possible with these comparisons, but we will still take a minute to compare the overall styling. Beginning with the all-new RAV4, it looks totally different from the outgoing model. This generation has a masculine and sculpted front, complete with the Limited special metallic gray finish. The CR-V's front looks a bit more suburban, but it still has a pretty aggressive face. The chrome accented grille flows right into the headlights, which are fully LED on the Honda. The same goes for the Toyota's headlights, and both CUVs have halogen fog lights down at the bottom. Around back, again the RAV4 has the more muscular appearance, but both look very upscale when fully loaded. They have rear chrome accents, LED taillights, and dual exhaust outlets. Overall, I think both vehicles are attractive in different ways, and since the features are identical, I won't award any points. Now as far as all the other exterior stuff, starting up front, they both have nearly identical ground clearance and turning diameters. And then moving to the wheels, you'll find 18-inch contrast alloys on the Honda, but 19-inch chrome finish alloys on the Toyota. For the mirrors, they both have heating and power adjustment, as well as blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic alert. Now as far as all the other safety systems, both of them come loaded to the gills. They have full speed adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, forward emergency braking with pedestrian detection, and auto high beam headlights. But the new RAV4 has a few additional ones: bicyclist detection, lane trace assist, and road sign assist. The two crossovers also share 3-year 36,000 mile bumper to bumper warranties, and 5-year 60,000 mile powertrain warranties. However, Toyota does give you 2 years of complimentary maintenance. And the last thing we'll look at on the outside is the fuel range. The CR-V has a 14-gallon tank, and the RAV 14.5 gallons. So, even though the Honda gets better MPG, oddly enough they end up with the exact same 406 miles of fuel range. Well, that's it outside, so now let's move on to the more important cabin where the family will be. Getting inside the interior, both crossovers have smart entry with nice key fobs. However, only the CR-V includes remote start on the key fob without a subscription. Moving into the interiors, both these products have moved upscale, especially the RAV4 when compared to last year. This Honda has a gray and black color scheme, and our Toyota is just straight black. Checking out the seats themselves, the RAV4 gives you 8 ways of power adjustment, while the Honda goes for an impressive 12 ways with 4-way lumbar. Additionally, you will find real leather on the seats of the Honda compared to Toyota's Softex faux leather. Its impersonation is definitely not bad, but you can tell the difference. Once inside the cabins, both have a real spacious feel, as well as an upscale look. Starting with material quality, the CR-V gives you all soft touch materials even on the upper portions. There is also some stitching, as well as some faux wood accents, and all the pieces are solid and well put together. Switching to the Toyota, it also has soft touch materials across the entire dashboard with stitching. And this new generation loses all the hollow, unsubstantial feel of the plastics that the old one had. The door trims are roughly equivalent, giving you tons of leatherette trim to both look attractive and give you a soft area to rest your arm on. But all in all, these two have some of the best cabin materials in the class. As one would expect, the top-end models do have push-button start. When the cars fire up, you'll see a 7-inch display on the Honda and an 8-inch display on the Toyota. And then looking at the gauges, they are very similar to each other in overall design. Both have 7-inch digital displays, which are reconfigurable, and then analog gauges flanking that. Coming back to the steering wheels, both are leather wrapped and manual tilt and telescoping. Neither of them have heating, though it is available on the RAV. The CR-V also has rain sensing wipers, which could be added to the Toyota with the extra $1,000 weather package. Now moving on to one of the most important interior aspects, let's talk storage. Honda always does something cool with the center consoles, and this is no exception, with a sliding tray that allows the storage to be at least twice as big as the RAVs. Up in the front, both have another generously sized bin, but the Toyota fights back by giving you a large storage shelf that the Honda doesn't have. Overall, I'd say storage is roughly equivalent. Moving on, both models have traditional shifters, though the Honda's has a non-traditional placement. On the Toyota, you can shift manually, though neither of them have paddles. Going into reverse, both have multi-angle backup cameras with trajectory. As is the case with several other features, the already more expensive RAV4 has an optional 360-degree camera system, available via the Advanced Technology package. Both of them have electronic parking brakes and brake hold. Next up, we have the dual-zone automatic climate control systems. There's not a great deal of differences between them, but the RAV4's is more ergonomically sound, since on the CR-V you're required to use the touchscreen for some of the functionalities. Both seats are heated, though you can get ventilation on the Toyota for an extra charge. Anyways, now let's go ahead and sample the audio systems. While the CR-V does have an extra speaker on the Touring trim, the RAV4's branded system is simply better all around. Now let's go ahead and quickly check out the infotainment systems. We will start with the CR-V, which carries over the same older Honda Link system from last year. The graphics certainly aren't the most modern looking, but it is very easy to use, especially with the handy shortcut buttons. Touring gives you integrated navigation, and even the lower trims come with both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Toyota's newest Entune 3.0 system, on the other hand, is more modern looking and performs a bit faster. However, the actual functionality is really no different, and this system only has Apple CarPlay, but not Android Auto. So overall, I'll call this area a draw. Heading up top, both models do have auto-dimming rearview mirrors, except Toyota now includes a rear camera mirror to cut out all the obstructions. And then, as you'd expect, both have moonroofs, though once again, Toyota can get a panoramic one with the highest tier $2,800 package. Anyways, that covers just about everything in the interior. So now let's go ahead and check out the areas in the back where the rest of the family will be. Heading to the rear quarters, both models are undisputably spacious, but the CR-V continues to be pretty much the best option in the class. It has 40.4 inches of legroom and 38.3 inches of headroom, compared to 37.8 inches for legs and 37.7 inches for heads in the RAV. After getting in, you will notice that both give you nice rear air vents, as well as smart charging USB ports for both passengers. Moving out back, both have power tailgates. The Honda's is hands-free, while the already more expensive Toyota needs the Advanced Tech package to get that. Once it opens up, the CR-V is also significantly more spacious here, giving you 39.2 cubic feet with the second row in place, and 75.8 cubic feet with it folded. Comparatively, the RAV4 has 37.5 cubic feet, which expands to 69.8 cubic feet with the seats folded. And then the last thing worth mentioning is that the CR-V gives you a power passenger seat, which the RAV4 does not. Well guys, that's it for this extremely close comparison video. For me, the big takeaway here is that when priced equivalently, these two have more or less the same features. But if you spring for all the options on the RAV, it would have the advantage, but it would also have a $4,000 higher price tag. But overall, I have to say, there's a good reason why these two are the top selling products in the class. Thanks for joining us on this car confections comparison, and be sure to subscribe for more comparisons and our signature full review videos. Take care.
Hmm?